My good friend Peter Ndegwa, CEO of Safaricom. Before the break, Bwana CEO, we're talking about M-Pesa, which is a phenomenon. I mean...
That's correct, Jeff.
Right?
Yes,
and it's been studied in universities. This is a game changer.
That's correct.
And you know the beginnings of M-Pesa.
Yeah.
Go on.
So, earlier when we spoke about when you are starting a business, sometimes when you have success, people don't realize that it didn't start as easy at the beginning. So the story about M-Pesa is it arose from the ability to send money from one person to the other. But also we needed to get regulatory approval, the government needs to be convinced, and so on and so forth. And there was many people who doubted that this is the right thing. Some said, oh, you want to create money, you want to increase money circulation in the country. And Michael Joseph tells me this story about a visit he made to the minister then, the late Michuki, who was finance minister, and said, I need to launch M-Pesa. There's opposition. I want to convince you that it's the right thing. So he asked his farm manager. So he demonstrated that M-Pesa could work by asking the farm manager of the late Michuki to pay his employees using M-Pesa, and that's the way Michuki was convinced. And that's the way he said, okay, now I am a supporter. And there were many more voices that had to be convinced. But it shows the importance of light regulation when you have an innovation, the importance of a company which was persistent, because we could have given up. But actually, we've always been about innovation, about inclusion, and about empowerment. And that is what has made Safaricom the company it is. So M-Pesa then grew from there. And then we launched Lipa na M-Pesa for business. Today, just the time when you interviewed me in 2020, there was 170,000 merchants. Today, we have 700,000 merchants. So more than quadruple in a very short period. Shows the speed of digitization, but the enablement for merchants. And then we introduced something we are calling transacting till. So if you're a merchant, people pay money into your till. You can use it to pay salaries. You can use it to pay suppliers. So you don't have to have a very complicated system. So it's an empowering tool. Then you remember there was we partnered with banks to come up with credit. So going beyond payments. And then of course the launch of Fuliza. And Fuliza came because there were so many transactions that were failing because of lack of credit. Or small amounts, you're at a shop and you need 2,100, but you only have 2,000. So Fuliza came in, and Fuliza has been very successful. And you know, 2 years ago, we changed the pricing so that we reduced it significantly. Today it's used by about 8 million customers on a monthly basis. So it is actually a massive product. So M-Pesa has really transformed the way this country operates. Could
you imagine life without M-Pesa, Bwana CEO? Could you imagine?
I could not, because I never carry a wallet. I have a CFO who comes from abroad. He says he doesn't know the color of the notes of Kenya. There's a time we went for a conference in Spain, the Mobile World Congress. And there's someone who had forgotten their credit card because they thought they are still in Kenya. So I tell you, it is in the DNA of everyone. And when you go abroad, as you said, it's been studied across the world. As a case study in Harvard Business School and so on. But what people don't actually realize is that M-Pesa goes beyond what you and I see. It enables the vulnerable in the population. We use M-Pesa for transferring money to refugees, for example, during droughts and floods. If you want to give cash for those who have been affected, and I was chair of the drought committee, we use M-Pesa. So we use M-Pesa to transfer funding that is that donors want or development agencies want to send to individuals who are affected. More recently, as you know, because of the platforms that we have, both the ability to access the internet. Today, we have 36 million customers who may either make calls or access the internet on a monthly basis, and 33 million customers who use M-Pesa on a monthly basis. So that basically we touch the whole population, and that's why today we were thanking everyone who has ever made a call on our network. So today, for example, the first transaction of M-Pesa was free.
Completely free?
Completely free. So people are very surprised when we refunded the money at the cost of the transaction.
People have been talking about how much they're getting money back.
Yes, the money back. I don't know whether, Jeff,
I didn't get any.
Probably you didn't spend anything on M-Pesa. Or do you have an M-Pesa account? So M-Pesa has gone beyond the initial beginning, which was cash in, cash out. To transfer money, has enabled business, the merchant side. And now we have more interoperable, what we call interoperability with banks, so you can transfer money to and from banks. You can. One of the things that is not known about M-Pesa is the number of developers, so IT qualified people who work on the M-Pesa, who are not Safaricom employees, 80,000 work on the M-Pesa ecosystem to connect businesses using what is called APIs, application programming interfaces that allow us to connect businesses to utilize the M-Pesa ecosystem to allow business to operate.
And it used to be based in Germany, right?
So initially, because there was always a partnership between Safaricom and Vodafone, it was, and we didn't have the kind of IT capability. It used to be based in Europe. Then eventually in 2015, it was brought back home, so the engine was brought back into this country. And eventually in 2020, we also now brought the brand back. So today it's all 100% made in Kenya. Actually operated in Kenya, including all the money is invested in Kenya, in either in secure investment, whether in AAA rated banks or other tier one banks, or government securities, but all insured. Because today people take for granted that the money which we transact about $750 million every day. So that money has to be kept for customers and has to be secure and has to be available if a customer wants to transfer to the banks to pay whatever it is they want to pay.
Every day?
Every day. So we fully insure that money. So if customers had any issue, then they would be able to be refunded. The other element is we have really advanced the technology. Today, if you wanted to make a change on the M-Pesa platform, it usually takes 10 minutes. To make the change. Usually we would have to shut down the system overnight for 10 hours. Today's 10 minutes, we have 4,000 transactions running on, being run on M-Pesa every second. 4,000 transactions.
Every second?
Every second. Another KPI that actually just illustrates how important M-Pesa is. We bring in $4.2 billion every year into this country through the Kenyan diaspora or anyone who is sending the money into this country, and terminates on the system and allows for people to actually receive money, or for Kenyans who are living abroad to be able to support projects, support their families. And that's why we've always said we are about connecting people to people, empowering business, and actually starting to expand into other opportunities in Africa.
And your system can handle this 4.2 billion?
So our system, the resilience, you know, we take for granted when systems work. It's like when a mail comes to your door every day. When it doesn't work, that's when you realize it is important. It's like accessing the internet is almost taken for granted. Accessing M-Pesa. But we've built it over time. Remember, we invest $350 million every year to make sure that our connectivity continues to expand, to improve, so that people can access the internet, that it is available and it's always on, that M-Pesa is resilient. Resilient meaning that if one place failed, we can move it to another place. We have 3 sites where M-Pesa can operate fully, what we call on. You know, so basically the system is operating as if it was in 2 countries, and ensure that it's geographically separate. So that if there was a problem, then we can be able to resolve the problem. So, and that's why even when you have fiber cards and all these things, M-Pesa still runs. So in the past 3.5 years or 4 years, we've had 2 issues on M-Pesa. I would say 2 major issues. One was a minor one, that was a design issue that we discovered and dealt with it. The other one was just an integration problem between us and some of the partners. But basically the way we run M-Pesa is we know that is a critical infrastructure for the country. So we cannot afford. We always have to ensure that it's always on.
And other countries come to you guys for guidance on how they can implement an M-Pesa equivalent.
Yes, M-Pesa equivalent. That's why it has been studied for so long. Now M-Pesa is in other countries in Africa, about 7 others, including Ethiopia, latest launch of M-Pesa. But Kenya is still the origin. We are considered the origin of innovation. And we kept, you see, it's not just the actual concept, but it's also keeping improving it. So now, because payments are working and you can rely that M-Pesa will work, we've now started to go into other. So we've talked about credit, including Fuliza. We are going into what wealth management, democratizing ability to invest money as low as 100 shillings, and we'll be launching a product on that. Insurance, we started doing device insurance. So any product that we believe can be distributed through our infrastructure, we can actually be able to democratize. Because insurance penetration in this country is very low, and many don't have access. So in the same way we've done financial inclusion, now we want to expand to what we are calling financial health. So beyond payments into credit, and credit we've done only for individuals, now we are going into business, into merchant credit, working with banks, because we always partner with banks. On the insurance side, we'll work with insurance, licensed insurance businesses, but we already have a brokerage license. But the most important is to democratize ability and to include everyone. So devices are the next thing to do, because today only 40% of Kenyans have 4G devices. The other 60% have Mlikamwizi or 3G devices. You cannot get good internet access without a 4G plus device. So this is why we created EDAC, which is the East Africa Device Assembly, which is doing very well. By the end of this year, we'll have done 1 million devices. Made in Kenya. By the end of April, May, we will have done 1.5 million. And from next year, we intend that we'll be doing 3 to 4 million devices. Affordable devices. And we now can do all other, we can do different handsets. We can do CPE for home. You know, the Wi-Fi gadgets that we have at home. So instead of importing, we can actually innovate, and we can do it faster because the device assembly is in our control together with other partners. So it is about keeping innovating, combining technology and innovation to continue to solve challenges that customers have, whether that is on the digital inclusion side or on the financial inclusion side.
Speaking of internet, June 25th, Gen Z demonstrations in Nairobi. There was talk that Safaricom had shut down its system in the city. Is that what happened?
No, so I have talked so much about the power of the internet, the importance of the internet. Internet is like air. So when you have it, you don't realize you have it. When you lose it, there's a problem. So it's unfortunate that we lost the internet. And for me, I felt that we let our customers down. Safaricom is the largest provider of internet into this country. So we let our customers down. And regardless of what happened, you could say, well, you lost the internet at a particular point or whatever. Certainly we did not interfere with it, but we lost it. We lost the internet at the point when we receive it. But the most important thing, it is our responsibility, just like I've spoken about M-Pesa, to keep the country connected, to ensure that internet is always available. And hopefully we'll never get to that space again. So for me, I apologize to all our customers. I apologize that we disappointed them. But frankly, it is my commitment, and we have something we call delivering frictionless customer experience. It's my commitment to have an always-on network. And that's why we invest every day, every year, $350 million every year.
Was there a lot of backlash from that?
There was. I was called all kinds of names. I was Salimiwad. but
you were Salimiwad.
But you know, Jeff, the thing is, when you're in a leadership position like mine, you're in a critical leadership role that serves the country in many ways. Whether that is during a crisis like COVID or drought or floods, whether it is in moments like those when the internet is not available and people want to connect. And you have to accept that managing leadership is, you have to take that responsibility. So I didn't take it personally. But for me, the one thing, I know Safaricom cares, and Safaricom is invested in ensuring that every 36 million customers who use our network every month, or 33 million customers who use M-Pesa every month, have a frictionless, always-on service. And I know even on the M-Pesa side, there is potential fraud areas where people are SIM swapped and all that. We are going to be making, as part of this celebration, we are going to be making an announcement next month about how we continue to protect our customers. So yes, there was a lot of pushback, and to be fair, everyone deserves to push us back, because for me, I thought, if you see a brand and are attacked in that way, it means that people care and they value what you deliver.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
And otherwise, they would just have walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're still there.
They are still there. So it is about us reconfirming our commitment to them. Yeah. That customer experience is the number one way of reliable customer experience, is the first thing that we focus on to make sure that our brand continues to live for the next 24 to 25 years.
Absolutely.
And because that's what we've been known for.
You know, I want to talk about that more after the break, Bonacio. And also, what you were all over town today. You were up and down. You know, you were greeting people and giving them all kinds of stuff, goodies.
And eating some food in Kibandas. I could almost bet that the potatoes I ate must have been from my county, from Nyandarua, given the size.
Some hot waru.
Hot waru. Yeah,
that's fantastic. We want to talk about that. And also, Social Health Authority.
Yes,
let's talk about 104 billion shillings.
Happy to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, by the way, my favorite Safaricom shop.
Yes.
Sarit Center.
Okay.
I love it downstairs.
And why?
There's the team.
Okay.
Warogoro.
Yes.
And the rest of the team.
Yes.
When I walk in, it's like
I need to go and recognize them.
You do.
That's good feedback.
I feel like a king when I walk in.
Yes.
It's like they see me on the CCTV or something, and they boom. There's someone there in my face.
Yeah.
I love Sarit Center.
That's
Village Market, also good.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
You have some...
Have you been to Junction? That's where I was today.
Is that right? Okay. Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
after
it was
break.
very good.
Yeah. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV. The hashtag is JKLIVE. We'll get to the magic wall at some point, but so much ground to cover. 24 years later, hey, it's been a quarter century of Safaricom. Jeff Koinange Live takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.